Why is income inequality so important to you?
It's huge. It's the game changer that we're living in right now. It's because we're creating a super class so far above the vast majority of people that they don't share the same planet anymore. 47% of American people can't cope with a $400 emergency.
Explain that, though, when you said don't share the same planet. I don't think people get that.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't think that the people who are on their private jets or living in incredible riches can even begin to digest what it means to not have $400 for an emergency. I mean, that's just couch cushion money for them. So we've stopped sharing the same reality. We don't stand in line with everybody else. We don't wait patiently like everybody else. We've sort of short-circuited all the social processes and created kind of parallel universe that we live in. And that is not good for solidarity. It's not good for opportunity. We've eroded all the paths to the American dream that my grandfather and great uncle took.
Yeah.
I had to speak out, she writes in today's Washington Post, about the naked indecency of Chief Executive Robert Iger's pay, pointing out that Iger made $65 million in 2018, more than 1,400 times the median pay of a Disney worker. The 59-year-old social activist, who has no controlling stake in the company, says she met with Disney employees in California. Some told her they have to choose between paying rent and paying medical bills.
By a show of hands, how many of you have someone you know that works at Disney that's on food stamps? Wow. How many of you know somebody who works at Disney who slept in their car in the last couple of years? How many of you know somebody who have gone without medical care because they can't afford it?
If your CEO has never made more money and people at the bottom have to ration their insulin, something is terribly, terribly, terribly wrong.
The problem, she says, is hardly Disney's alone, citing statistics from a left-leaning think tank. Since 1978, CEO pay has grown by 937%, while the pay of an average worker grew just 11.2%. In the last decade, that inequality has fueled progressive movements, from Occupy Wall Street,
we're middle class and we're mad as hell,
to calls for an increase in the federal minimum wage.
If your revenues are so great and if everything is so hunky-dory, why are people on food stamps? Are they not part of the same wealth-generating process that you're part of? And I would argue they are co-creators of value inside that company. So I have no quibble with a large compensation package for people at the top, as long as people who work for him in a year of record profits are not relying on food stamps, rationing insulin, sharing housing with other people because they can't afford their own. This is absurd. And how you sleep at night when you go home with what translates into about $22,000 an hour, when the people at $15 an hour, you know perfectly well can't make ends meet.